If you're still trying to think your way out of anxiety, this might be why it's not working. Welcome back to the Broken and Brave podcast. Today, I want to talk about something that quite literally may change the way you understand your anxiety forever. You feel it before you think it. And if immediately your mind was like, wait, I'm pretty sure it's my thoughts that trigger my anxiety, just hold tight, listen to the episode, and we're going to keep on going. Now, that tight chest, that drop in your stomach, that heat in your face, that sudden wave of dread that seems to come out of nowhere, it didn't start with a thought. It started with a sensation. Even if, I'm just going to say it again, even if up to this point you assumed it's starting with your thoughts, it isn't. And if you've spent years trying to fix your anxiety by fighting your thinking, this episode is going to make a lot of things click for you. Because most high-functioning women have been taught anxiety is irrational thinking. And you may even say that to yourself. This is irrational. Stop being crazy. Why are you acting like this? Why are you even worried about it? So if you change your thoughts, you change your anxiety. That's what you've probably been led to believe. It sounds logical, right? Yeah. Except it doesn't work long term. And if you're like most people in this community, you have tried. You've tried all the things. You've tried positive thinking. You've tried self-talk. You've tried therapy. You've tried talking yourself off the ledge. And maybe it helps for a few minutes or in that situation, or maybe it doesn't, and you've resorted to avoiding things that trigger your anxiety. But what you've noticed is the sensations, they always come back. And that's even if you have made your world smaller. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more shortly. Why? Why is this? Because anxiety is not primarily a thinking problem. It's a nervous system response. And your nervous system is scanning for safety and threat every single second of the day. Not consciously, automatically. Before your conscious mind has time to interpret what's happening, your body does something. It has already decided whether something feels safe or not. So that means, for example, your chest tightens before you label it fear. Your stomach flips before you think, what if? Your heart races before you tell yourself you're in danger. The body fires first. The mind explains second. And here's where this becomes critical. If you try to solve a body-based response with mental strategies alone, you will stay stuck in management mode. I get people who come to me and they're just like, I want to learn how to manage my anxiety better. No, I'm going to raise the bar for you. We are done with this. We're done with this. We're getting rid of the panic attacks. We're not just managing them. So if you've approached it this way, you've either been constantly trying to control your thoughts and or slowly shrinking your life to avoid those triggering situations. A couple examples that I hear a lot. You'll avoid driving to places, avoid public spaces, avoid difficult conversations, avoid opportunities. Not because something's wrong with you, even if your mind has told you that, but because your nervous system is still set to high alert. Now, here's something that might feel confronting. You've done a lot of work. You probably understand your triggers. You can name your patterns. You know that you catastrophize and go to worst case scenario. You know you overthink. But awareness alone does not recalibrate a nervous system. Understanding your anxiety is not the same thing as retraining your body's response to it. And I see it all the time. And a client recently told me, I thought something was wrong with me. I thought I wasn't made for this world because I couldn't control my thoughts and I couldn't stop thinking these things. But when you said start with the body first, it made sense in an entirely new way. And that shift alone reduced her shame. And here's what changed. We don't stop at understanding. We begin with recalibrating the nervous system. That's different. I want you to think of your nervous system, for example, like a smoke alarm. And what is a smoke alarm there to do? To detect danger, to detect a problem. But if it's overly sensitive, it doesn't just go off for fire, it goes off for burned toast. And you don't need it going off for burned toast, but it keeps doing that. The alarm isn't broken, but it's miscalibrated. It's set to a sensitivity setting that is too high. And I want you to hear me when I say this. That sensitivity setting isn't permanent. It can be changed. So most anxiety management tools, they only help you cope after the alarm goes off. They don't recalibrate that sensitivity setting so that it stops going off. So what happens? If that's you, you have become very skilled at managing symptoms, but the alarm keeps firing. And over time, how do you feel? Exhausted, frustrated, helpless, all the things, because you're constantly on the edge, bracing, scanning, trying to stay ahead of it. And if you continue believing that anxiety starts in your thoughts, two things are going to happen. You're going to blame yourself for not thinking better. You probably already have. And you might believe that something is fundamentally wrong with you. I see so many who have felt so alone. Nobody in their life seems to understand or to get it. And then they get in this community and they're like, oh my gosh, like there's other people who are struggling like this. And it doesn't have to be like this anymore. No, it's not true that something's fundamentally wrong with yourself. And it's not true that you just need to think better. Your nervous system is running old protective programs. They once kept you safe, and they probably developed in childhood due to trauma, due to unpredictability or criticism or even chronic stress. But here's what I want you to know. If it was learned, it can be recalibrated. It doesn't matter if it was 9 months ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago, or 20 years ago. The work is letting go of wanting to silence it and suppress it and control it. It's to recalibrate it. And I want to make a note here. The most effective way to recalibrate the nervous system is using data from your body. If you go on YouTube, you go on podcasts, you go on Instagram, you go on Facebook, somebody's going to give you some generic thing to do to recalibrate your nervous system. That's not going to recalibrate your nervous system effectively. You need to use data from your body so that you know this is tailored for me. This is individualized. When you understand that your anxiety starts in the body, everything changes. Instead of saying, what's wrong with my thoughts? You begin asking questions like, what is my body trying to protect me from? And instead of fighting the sensation, you create safety for it. And instead of trying to eliminate anxiety before living your life, you build the capacity and the trust to feel and to move forward. And that's where real freedom begins. I've had women come into the program with me and tell me in 1 week that they feel lighter. Just 1 week, because it is so drastically different than anything that they've done before. And I want to be clear about something that I mentioned. Understanding is powerful. It just doesn't change your set point, that sensitivity setting that I mentioned. Repetition does. Guidance does. Safe nervous system recalibration does. And that's exactly why we're using data from your body, because it's safe and what's most effective. You don't rewire those survival responses by hearing one podcast episode. Wouldn't that be nice? I get some people sometimes, they're like, just tell me, like, do I have to listen to this whole thing or listen to an hour? And I'm like, I wish it was that simple. It's not a quick tip. And I know just the way the world we live in, that can be desirable. And it's not complicated. It's straightforward and you can absolutely do it. Countless women and men have with me. So Again, you rewire by consistently teaching your body a new experience of safety. That's the difference, okay, between insight and embodiment. And that's why so many women feel stuck. They have insight, but they have not started with the body and they have not recalibrated. So if you're listening and you're thinking, wow, okay, maybe I need to listen to this again. This actually really makes sense. I've been trying to think my way out of this, and I haven't been starting with my body. I want you to know that you can break free of this. This is possible for you. Now, inside Brave Academy, this is exactly what I do with my clients. We don't just talk about anxiety. You're not just complaining. You're getting concrete guidance, a roadmap on exactly what to do to overcome this. And women are getting results, noticing shifts in weeks, months. It's beautiful. It's just really, really, really rewarding. Now, the first thing that we do when you come in is we start retraining your nervous system, that sensitivity setting, so that smoke alarm's not going off for burnt toast anymore, okay? We're building that emotional capacity, rebuilding that self-trust, recalibrating that internal sense of safety so that you don't just understand your anxiety, you stop organizing your life around it. And if you know you're listening to this and you're like, I'm ready for this kind of work, just send me a DM on Instagram or on Facebook with the word Academy. If you're not on social media, you could also send me an email. I'll put my email in the show notes for you today. And I look forward to talking about what this could look like for you. And I'll see you next Tuesday.